Let's go Browns! They tried to stop it, didn't they? The lawsuits, the political infighting, the appeals to tradition, but here we are. Because this week, something seismic happened in Cleveland sports history. While most fans were wondering only about the training camp schedule or who might start week 1, the Cleveland Browns quietly secured what may be their biggest off-field victory in decades. A $600 million state funding package approved. A brand new stadium on the way. And not just any stadium. A state-of-the-art indoor NFL arena to be built in Brook Park, just outside of Cleveland. That's right. We're not just talking about renovation. We're talking about revolution. This change didn't happen overnight. It was a long chess match, played out between billionaires and bureaucrats. At the center of it, the Haslam family, the owners of the Browns, who, despite their age, are metaphorically doing somersaults right now. Jimmy and Dee Haslam took on the city leadership, especially Cleveland Mayor Justin Bibb, and won. Perhaps this is no surprise, considering the power and influence the Haslams wield. But the implications for Browns fans are profound. I have a few more things to tell you, but before I go any further, make sure you like this. But only if you've been a Browns fan for 17 plus years. It's always great to see loyal fans from all generations interacting here. It means a lot to us. If you can, please write, "Go Browns!" On to the Super Bowl. For months, the city of Cleveland clung to the so-called Art Modell Law, a piece of legislation crafted to prevent exactly this kind of move. You remember Art Modell, the owner who famously ripped the original Browns from the city's soul and dropped them in Baltimore. That law was created so no other city in Ohio would suffer the same fate, and Cleveland officials argued that moving the team to Brook Park, while still technically in the same county, was a betrayal of that spirit. They even filed a lawsuit. But here's the twist. The new state budget not only greenlit funding for the stadium, it also updated the Modell law itself. That update clarified that since the Browns are staying within Cuyahoga County, they're not in violation of the law. Case closed. Lawsuit dropped. The Haslams win. Again. So what does this mean for the Browns and for fans? The current lease at Huntington Bank Stadium expires after the 2028 season. That's the countdown. The goal is for the new stadium to open in time for the 2029 season. Construction is scheduled to begin in early 2026. And while you might be wondering if it's even possible to build something that big, that fast, just look at the Bills and Titans. The new stadiums have moved along without major delays. There's a precedent, and it's promising. And let's be real, Huntington Bank Stadium, formerly First Energy, was never a crown jewel. Since opening in 1999, it's been plagued by rushed construction, subpar infrastructure, and even reports of skunks taking up residence inside the building. That's not hyperbole. It's emblematic of a stadium that was never quite there. A renovation wouldn't cut it. Sinking $50 to $100 million into it over a decade wouldn't magically transform it into a world-class venue. It'd be like dumping money into a 15-year-old car that's already on its last legs. And what's around that stadium anyway? A museum? Sure. But no buzz, no vibrant game day scene, no walkable restaurants, bars, or hotels. Just concrete and missed opportunity. That's what the city wanted to preserve. Now, this is where it gets polarizing. The new Brook Park Stadium? It's going to have a dome. Yes, indoors. That means saying goodbye to those freezing cold, snow-filled December games. And some fans are going to hate that. They'll say AFC North football should be played in the elements, in the cold, in the mud, in the snow. But here's the counterpoint. Has that really helped the Browns? Let's be honest. December has not been kind. January has been worse. The Browns have never won the AFC North, and the supposed home field advantage of Cleveland's cold hasn't delivered much more than heartbreak. Maybe it's time for something new, something bold. Imagine this. It's January 2029. The Browns are not just in the playoffs. They're hosting a playoff game in Brook Park, in a climate-controlled dome. No swirling winds, no icy turf, just football. Finally, on their terms. Wouldn't that be something? But here's the kicker. This isn't 100% locked in yet. There's still one final hurdle. Ohio's governor could veto the funding. It's not likely, but it's possible. So while this week's vote was a monumental leap forward, there's still a bit of suspense. Still a bit of drama left in this play. But if everything stays on track, we're looking at a brand new chapter in Browns history. One with more comfort, more amenities, and, hopefully, more winning. Because let's not sugarcoat it, this isn't just a stadium. This is a defining move, one that reshapes the identity of the Cleveland Browns. For a franchise steeped in tradition, known more for heartbreak than heroics, this is a chance to turn the page. To reimagine what Sundays in Northeast Ohio can look like. Think about it, a modern facility that rivals the best in the league, finally bringing the Browns up to speed in a way that isn't just symbolic, but strategic. The Haslams didn't just want a stadium, they wanted leverage. And Brook Park offers just that, a clean slate. No urban gridlock, no bureaucratic roadblocks, just space. Room to build not just a stadium, but a destination. Surrounding developments are already being floated. Hotels, restaurants, entertainment venues. The kind of ecosystem that turns a game day into a full day experience. A place where families come early and stay late. This is the vision. And for once, it looks like the pieces might actually fall into place. But it also speaks to something deeper, an ambition that Cleveland fans haven't always seen from their team's leadership. Say what you want about the Haslams, but they're not thinking small. This move to Brook Park signals that the Browns are ready to operate like a big market team. They're investing in infrastructure, not just free agents. They're building long-term value, not just chasing short-term wins. And when you look at successful franchises across the NFL, that's the blueprint. Look at the Cowboys, the Rams, the Vikings. All have cutting-edge stadiums that don't just enhance the fan experience, they elevate the brand. The Browns want in on that. Still, it's fair to ask, why now? Why push for this when there are still questions about roster consistency, coaching stability, and whether or not the team can sustain playoff-level success? The answer is both simple and strategic. Control what you can control. Championships are hard to guarantee, but a world-class venue? That's a tangible asset, one that can attract events, boost revenues, and maybe, just maybe, give the team the edge it's been missing. And then there's the fan perspective. For diehards who've braved the cold since '99, this change might feel jarring. Moving out of Cleveland, even if it's just to Brook Park, hits a nerve. This isn't just a location shift, it's a spiritual one. Some will say the team is abandoning its roots. Others will say it's evolving. Both sides have a point. But let's not forget, NFL franchises don't live in the past. They survive by adapting. And if the Browns want to be more than just a nostalgic franchise, this is a step they needed to take. That said, no dome, no development, no dollar amount is going to erase the pressure that comes with this move. In fact, it raises the stakes. When you ask taxpayers for hundreds of millions, you better deliver results. Winning isn't optional anymore, it's expected. A new stadium won't silence critics if the Browns keep finishing third in the division. This investment demands return. Playoff runs, division titles, dare we say, a Super Bowl appearance? It's a tall order, but it's the only one that makes this gamble worth it. Of course, with any deal this big, there are still loose ends. The design of the stadium hasn't been finalized. We haven't seen renderings, heard about seating capacity, or learned which fan traditions might carry over. Will there still be a Dawg Pound? Will the acoustics replicate that classic Cleveland roar? Or will it all feel different? These are the kinds of details that could make or break the fan experience. And they matter, because a shiny new stadium means nothing if it doesn't feel like home. Then there's the matter of scheduling. If construction begins in early 2026, the clock is ticking. Weather delays, material shortages, labor disputes, any number of issues could throw off the timeline. Remember SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles? Gorgeous now, but the project faced plenty of hiccups. That can't happen here. The Browns can't afford to get this wrong. They need this stadium to open on time. They need momentum to build, not stall. Every brick laid will carry the weight of expectation. But if they pull it off, this could be the inflection point Browns fans have been waiting for. A new stadium, a new era, a new standard. One that says, finally, Cleveland isn't just showing up to the NFL party, it's hosting it. So, now that you've heard all the facts, all the implications, and all the hopes tied to this massive development, here's the final question. Are you in? If you're excited about this new chapter,